Hi, welcome to our show. Well,
Oh, hi.
hi. Yeah, welcome. Yeah. Well, basically, today we're on book Reflection 160, and this is a topic that I think we all been spilling for however long we've been doing this. This is the thing that we are very, very adamant about.
Yeah,
And I think, we live by it, and I think you should too, but, don't take my word for it. Let's talk about it. Oh,
yeah,
take it
because
away, Chris.
we don't know anything, right? Yeah, so this is a topic that we've talked a lot about. We talked around it a lot. We've definitely discussed this topic many, many times on this journey because
Yeah,
it's important. I think it's
yeah.
like a really important core fundamental principle of what something you and I both believe strongly in and have made it a core part of the culture that we're trying to build. And that reflection title is I Don't Know Anything. That's what we're going to be talking about today. It was spurred from many books, but I decided to write about this one on this particular book because this book was called Think Again by The Power of Knowing What You Don't Know by Adam Grant. If you don't remember Adam Grant from previous reflections and podcasts that we've done before, I think this is the fourth book. We did Give and Take, we did Originals, this one, and then I guess if you want to count option B, he co-wrote that one with Sheryl Sandberg. So yeah, this is our fourth Adam Grant book that we've done on this journey. This is the last one, actually. This was his newest book that
You
came
never
out.
know. He could write another book.
I'm sure he'll write more books, but I think this is his fourth book. I was really excited. Adam Grant's one of my favorite thinkers. I really do actually enjoy Adam Grant a lot. I'm a huge fan of him. I don't know that his podcasts and him just talking is way more impactful sometimes than his books. I really loved Option B, which was the book that he co-wrote with Sheryl Sandberg, and then I really loved Originals. I don't know that I really loved Give and Take. And actually I really liked Originals. For some reason I didn't really like this book that much. It just wasn't one of my favorite Adam Grant books. I felt like it was very on brand with Adam, but like I don't know that he stretched himself a ton on this one.
But
I still liked it.
you got a really great reflection from this book.
Yeah, no, I did. So the book's about unlearning. It's about the process of unlearning, right? Like and not taking our
Maybe it's
beliefs.
too
But
simple. A lot of time when you said something about, hey, we're talking about the sacred cow, I have learned so much from this because I didn't know a lot of things that
true.
the author is being kind of revealing to me. But this book is like you probably have learned most of these already. So for you, it feels like, hey, there's nothing new. It wasn't great. But because it's so simple, it's probably the best lessons and solution for us.
You're so fucking smart, True. I mean, you are very spot on. I agree with you. I
But
think one
then,
of the
but
reasons
then the
probably why I
book
didn't
is the book.
one of the reasons why I didn't love this book that much because I was like, Adam, I'm already kind of past this point. I'm all about thinking again. We're all about rethinking and thinking again and asking the next question, not being stuck with a particular topic or idea or philosophy or whatever it may be. So maybe it's because I was like, you're right. The ones that you'll see on this journey that I love the most are the ones that I learned the most from, where I'm like, oh man, this is all so new and learning is so fun and it's so energizing, and I just want to get it out of your head and share it. Like this one, it was already in my head. I
This
didn't,
is like
yeah,
the alchemist. You think about the
right,
alchemist, right? The best solution was where he was at. The
right,
treasure was in his backyard. So we have the same sort of mental state because it's fun, but the best lessons is the things that we see that are as simple as, right in front of our eyes. Most of the stuff is under our nose. And
oh,
to
for sure,
me, this
yeah,
is the reflection title for me. It's probably my top five, like that I cannot live without. I
right.
will never ever take anything for granted because I don't know shit.
Don't ruin it. Let me do the reflection. So because I know we have plenty to talk about after we're done. So I'll just jump into it. This book was a great reminder. It was a good midway reminder point of this journey of
Mhm.
anybody that's followed along with this journey and anybody that's heard any of our conversations before, I think we will both adamantly say and happily say, I don't know anything. And neither do you, to be honest with you. And not just you, the pervert, not you, but like
The
anyone
you,
else,
the
right?
uni,
Like, yeah, the you,
the
right,
universe, the
right.
universe.
It's not just words, and I know that you truly mean it, and it's not just words. So for me, truly meant it so much that I decided to add humility in as one of my newest core values. About a quarter of the way into this journey, as I was writing the book about my daughter, toward the end of it is when that whole particular journey was wrapping up with finishing the book, and I was sharing my own core values. I decided to add humility into there because that was one of the big things I discovered along my journey with her. Your paradigms can be shook in a heartbeat. And as I was exploring more and more and more, it just was clear, like, I don't know anything. I mean, I don't even pretend to know anything at this point in time anymore. And it's funny because I was like, look, the truth is like we know such an infinitesimally small amount of knowledge if we know anything at this point in time. It's almost comical to think that we actually know anything. And I wrote in this reflection, I was was like, people reading this are probably like, Chris, come on, like, we're 158 or 160 reflections in. I just finished reflection 297 this morning, and we've, on our way to the 365 book goal. And they would say, come on, you got to know something. Like, and I'm dead serious. Like, no, actually, the more that I learn on this journey, the more that I think I'm dumber. Like, the more it's like I feel dumber like than I did before I even started this, because there is like such power and conviction and kind of ignorance. When you only think when you think you really know something, it is powerful, but it's also so dumb. Like, because you don't know any. I am not married to anything. I do not ground myself in anything other than my values at this point in time in life, because that's the only thing that I know that I can control and that I can do with my daughter every single day, and then I can live my own life. But beside that, I don't know anything. And that's really just a feeling of what I care about most. Values are abstract, right? Like, there's not like this tangible, like, I know like love is a value of mine or something like that. It's a feeling, right? Like, I know how that feeling makes me feel, and I know if I either like that or I don't like that. But as I was moving on in this reflection, like, it was, if you're following along with this journey and you're reading this reflection, you might think like, what the hell? So if ignorance is bliss, and like knowing and unknowing, and it just is questions that lead to more questions, like, that doesn't sound really fun. Like, this is really the best way to go. And I think if you think that, you're missing the whole point of this entire journey. It's not about knowing anything. It's not about seeking truth. It's not about being right. It's not about some goal or some outcome that we're trying to get to. It's not about some reward at the end of the journey. It's not about some business that we're trying to build or whatever. It's not about any of that. It's just literally about exploring your values and enjoying your life and doing the things you love to do. And for me in particular, it's living for two for my daughter. So like, that's what this thing has always been about. That's what it will always continue to be about. And because of that, at its core, I don't know anything, because I don't know where we're going. I don't know where I'm going to be in a few years. I don't know what my life's going to look like. I don't know what my life will look like tomorrow. I don't know what I'll know tomorrow. I don't know what I won't know tomorrow, and I'm not going to pretend that I'm going to have any idea of where this shit is going. Like, I'm just not even going to even joke about it. So my advice for anyone, that's following along this journey or interested in unlearning as a way of thinking and following a life of questioning, is make sure you anchor it to the concepts that you value the most. Set it to some goal or some hope that you want to acquire or something, because like it'll get you nowhere fast, and then you're going to be really frustrated, because it is frustrating if you think you're asking questions for more questions on top of more questions, and unlearning and unthinking and rethinking and unlearning and asking more questions towards some goal. Like, that's just do it because about the stuff you care about, and just keep exploring, and the whole world kind of opens up for you, and it's really fun. So I'll pause there, and that's the reflection. So yeah, love to get your thoughts.
So what's the reflection?
And humility, and make sure that you don't know anything, and keep that at the center of your journey, because
So
like,
what do
that's
you
what it's
mean?
about.
What do you mean?
I'm sure that I don't know anything.
So the thing
Right.
is, for me, is when I was younger and with my 18 and 20s, I know everything. And as I go older, as I learned more, I've learned there are more things that I don't know. And as time progresses, that list keeps growing. So
Exponentially fast.
so when I was younger, I know like 100% of the things on the list. Now I know about 1% of things on the list. If that makes sense to you.
Yeah, no,
The
that
thing
does.
the thing is, the more we learn, the less we know.
You get stupider.
When I was younger, I know about 80 to 90% of all the things that there is to know.
Yeah, I mean, think about your kid when they're a
According to
baby.
me. Right?
Yeah,
And then when I get older, I learn more. I just learned that there are more things that I don't know.
you're right. Yeah,
Right? So the thing is that's the beauty of these things is, when you think you know, it means that you have limited scope. That's all it is. Your list is just not all there. And when you
right.
are more learned, and there are things that you don't know. You didn't unlearn you would have
It's
before.
you can't learn. You have to unlearn what you already know to look at things from like the first principles, things like that, like we've talked about in the
Well, I
past.
think I disagree with that with you or with Adam Grant, because you don't
Yeah,
unlearn it. You learned it. You just learn. Just like I told you about the Bayesian decision tree, right? It's like you have one piece of data. You say, well, I have two pieces of the puzzle, right? I have one of them. That means I have 50%. But the problem is when the more piece of puzzle comes, there's a 10 comes in, and I have 8, right?
right.
8 out of 100. Well, that's not 50%. That's just 8%. So the more I have 8 pieces of puzzle now. Before I had one, but before I had one, I thought there was only 2 total. But now that I have 8, I know there were at least 100. And now
I don't know what the fuck you said. Hang on, wait, whoa, I really lost you on that one. Like, go back and do that one again because I need to learn what you just said because I was like,
you
what
got
is?
you
I
gotta,
lost you.
because the thing is, when I was younger, I got one piece of the data
No, I
point.
got that stuff. When you started talking about the Bayesian tree, like, I mean, I was
Okay,
following you for a second, then I
do you
lost
know
you.
what
Like,
a Bayesian tree decision is? The Bayesian decision tree.
no, I've heard of
It,
Bayesian.
Bayesian is basically, it's just saying, hey, if I have one piece of data and I make a decision based on that data, right? That decision I made, it stands, right? That's what we do. It's like when we say, well, I don't like Chris or whatever. But
right.
the Bayesian decision say, hey, when you have the piece of data, you make a decision based on that data. But when new piece of data comes in, you should re-evaluate the decision with the 2
Oh,
pieces of
sure.
the data. If you have
Right.
3, then evaluate with the 3 pieces of data.
Right.
That's what I'm saying is when you first have one piece of the puzzle, one data point, and you assume there's 2 data points. Therefore, you think on that decision you have 50% of the decision, the data for you to make an accurate decisions. Now you collect 8 pieces of the data, but that 8 pieces of data suggests that at least 100 pieces of data there's in all totality, right? Therefore, your decision comes from 50% to now you have only 8%, even though you have more data point than before. If you had only one, now you have 8. It increases, you learn more data points, but then you knew that data point is actually less accurate than you had before. So that's basically how I see how we kind of traverse through life. It's like in the beginning, we knew everything because our scope of what we see as a whole totality is so small. When we
Right.
learn more, that can expand the horizon and say, well, yes, I knew 8 times as much as I knew in my previous year, but now I'm like a little fish in a big ocean.
This is why learning is so fun because it's novelty, novelty unfolds time and monotony collapses it. If you only ever know, like that's why traveling is so fun, right? You get to see new places and be around new people and new culture. Everything's so new. It feels like time takes forever, when you're I don't know about you, but vacations feel like they last forever sometimes for me because they're like sometimes it can be even exhausting because you're like, oh my God, there's so much new stuff going on. But like if you always think, well, yeah, this is Indianapolis, my little corner of the block over here is all that I'm ever going to know and see in this world. It's just boring. I mean, I'm not saying that it's bad. You can find joy in that, and you can find purpose in that, but like, getting outside of that, you get immersed in all this other new stuff, and you're like, oh shit, there's new things out here, and I can go learn all these things. Or like luckily we can stay at home now, and you can learn from your computer and to internet and technology or whatever. But my point is, it's the joy of learning and unlearning and rethinking and thinking and adding more data points, like you said, that is the point. Like it is
Right.
embracing your values.
It's not.
Yeah.
So that's why I'm saying it's not the unlearning, because you think about it in the beginning, we think we are the center of the universe. The sun revolve around us. The moon revolve around us,
Right.
right? That is our perspective. That's our decisions. That's what we've learned, right? To say that we then figured out that, hey, there are a whole like solar system, right?
Right.
With the sun as being the center, and we revolve around it, and then a bunch of other planets as well. So did we unlearn that we were the center of the earth? We didn't unlearn that. We just learn on top of it and readjust our decisions. So that's what
Sure.
I'm saying. We just learn more shit to understand that the shit we have compared to the massive totality of it, it's just actually gotten smaller. So
Right.
for us, it's like when we get older, we know that there are more things that we don't know.
Oh yeah, for sure.
That's why I want to bring up the Bayesian decision trees, because you
Yeah.
actually don't discard the decision you make. You just adjust the decision based on a new piece of data that comes in. You
Sure.
evaluate the data at a new point in time. You don't unlearn it. When we were the quote unquote center of the universe, right? We make the decisions and we act in that way. But now that we just don't say, hey, we unlearn that. How can you unlearn knowing that you are the center of the universe? Now you're not, right? It's one of those things where you're talking
Go
about the
ahead.
red pill and blue pill, right? You just say, hey, I'm going to go and swallow the red pill and then swallow the blue pill. You can't
Right.
undo it, right? But
Yeah, that's fair.
the only way for you to understand the differences is you swallow both of them. So you take both of them and you have that comparison to have a point of reference to compare the two to know, hey, this one's better in this way, this one's better in that way, this one's worse in this way, this one's worse in the other way. And so it's the same thing with data point. If the data point comes in, is we are learning more. As we learn that there's more things to learn, right?
It's infinite.
When we are exploring, right? At first, when I walk through a door, I see there's a bookshelf, right? Maybe there's 20 books in the bookshelf, but then when I do more learning, more quote unquote exploring, I found out there's like hundreds of bookshelves, right?
Right.
Then my totality of the knowledge I'm supposed to learn. Let's say I first walk into the door and I saw one bookshelf with 20 books in it. I read one book. See, I've learned one book, one of 20. I have only 19 to go. And then as I learn more, look beyond the bookshelf. I see more bookshelves, and there's halls and bookshelves and buildings after buildings and halls after halls of it. I've actually learned more than I had before, but then I knew that I knew less than I knew before.
Yeah. For sure. 100%. Like, it's the other side of the coin of this whole entire thing. We've talked about this before, is, why would you, if it's so nice to just always know something, like, why would you want to go rock that boat? Like, if
that's the thing for me, is like, when people say ignorance is bliss, right? I kind of tend to disagree with that, because to me, I'm saying, is my opinion is that life is hard. And if you don't know that life is hard, it's actually going to be worse for you. Right? Life is hard, but it's harder when you're stupid. That's what John Wayne said. Right?
I don't know that we're smart, though, is the point.
No, it's not about being smart,
right,
or being, but because if you think you know, right, something, but don't have the, so basically when you say I know all there is to know, I know 20 books in the bookshelves of the with 20 books, and I read them all 20, right? So I'm going to use that knowledge to navigate my life. Do you think I'm going to be as good? I knew 100%. 100% of the all there is to know, quote unquote, all there is to know, the whole bookshelf that I see, right? Ignorance bliss, as you said, right? I knew all the answers in there, and I used that answers to navigate my life in the universe, versus a guy who knew 1% of the whole entire library, right? You compare the life of those two guys. Which one you think is going to have a much better life?
I mean, so here's the thing. It's an interesting thought, what you're saying, and I don't disagree with you. I go back to the monotony versus novelty unfolds time and monotony collapses it. Like, when you think you know everything, life is fucking boring. Like, it's so fucking boring. Who wants to drag on their entire life going, well, I know it all? What's the point at that point in time? It's like, if you already know everything and you're rock solid and happy, I guess you can just sit there and, meditate for the next 90 years until you bounce out of here thinking about the one thing you know. And I don't know, like, it's just, we're addicted to choice. I mean,
we are addicted to changes. We're addicted to changes because, like you say, we are built that way. We are built to have changes, because imagine you knew everything, then life, you don't live anymore, because there's no
point. We wouldn't survive,
right? Just imagine you have gold, the Midas touch. If you have the Midas touch, you won't live that long, because you have everything you ever wanted. Life will be fucking boring. You're gonna blow your brains out.
You'll get killed because there'll be somebody that comes at you, and
you will actually kill yourself.
Yeah, no, I agree. I mean,
because you needed some kind of change, some kind of pain in your life to know that you're alive. Because, like, if everything is like this, just like, for example, if you know about, like, if you stare at one point too long, then you see nothing but black, because your eyes doesn't have the change that it needs to detect.
I didn't know that, actually.
Your eyes, if you fix on one point too long, then you start to black out, because there's no change for it to tell the difference. Our gene is designed to be like that. If there's nothing for you to strive for, you have no emotions, you are dead. You are living dead, right? People yearn for these changes. You look at a lot of people who are really rich, but they die early because they go and do crack cocaine and whatever just to get a kick.
Right.
They will eat like the most spiciest jalapeno peppers, and they do skydiving. They need some kind of kick to say, hey, I'm alive. Because life is so fucking boring when you don't have anything to supplement the change. The change causes your emotions to go up and down. It's your endorphins and your your dopamine and your what you call the here now
The
and
serotonin and oxytocin.
yeah,
Yeah.
right. So
Yeah.
so those things don't start to release unless you have those changes,
Yeah.
right?
The
If it
events.
stays
Yeah.
the
Yes.
same,
Yeah.
right,
Right. Yeah.
and they're
Yeah.
not there, and you
Yeah.
don't actually feel alive, and in order for you to feel alive, you're gonna do things like, like you said, crack and cocaine and overdose and all these things, Yes, I mean, most of the people who are have everything they ever need, right? They are into this weird stuff just because there's nothing else they can do. Did you
Yeah.
think
No, that's
about we are wired for that? Like I said, back in many other previous episodes, we say, hey, you are built for in a certain way, and you have to abide by that, you know, the
yeah.
patterns or whatever that uniqueness that you are. If you're a beaver, you will be happiest when you're in a pond. It's just not
I did
gonna be.
not think that beavers were going to come into this conversation
It
today. I mean, I'm not
always
going to lie, but then again, I don't know anything, right? So
exactly.
I
You
mean,
don't know
I
shit. I don't know shit. Hey, I don't know shit. You don't know shit. I think that
I
drives it home. It drives it home
yeah.
a little bit better than I don't know anything. Right? Shit's a powerful word.
Yeah, there's a book, we'll do it in the future here. It's called Brave New World by Aldous Huxley. It's like one of the only fiction books that I've read on this journey. I mean,
Mhm.
I've maybe did like 10 fiction books or maybe like 15. I don't know. Let's just call it 15 at this point in time. And this is one of my favorite ones that I did was Brave New World, which, do you know what that, have you ever heard about that book or you ever read that one before?
No.
So it's like a really famous book from the 1920s or 30s or something like that, of around the same time that 1984 was written. Is another author, famous author named Aldous Huxley, wrote a similar kind of dystopian, look into the future kind of thing called A Brave New World. In this Brave New World, all these citizens, they take this pill and it like keeps them completely stable all times. Like the core values of the society are stability, community, and stability,
I mean,
community.
imagine everybody looks the same, everybody wears white. I
Yeah,
mean, it becomes so mundane. You're going to die because the thing you think about it. I can remember that is the longest fucking life in my existence. It's like this is so horrible. I can't stand it. That to me is one of the things that it drives us, right? Because we cannot be still. It's not possible. If you are
right,
still, you're gonna suffer immensely, or you're dead. And
right,
whatever you want to say, let's say you give me a pill that prevent me from acting out my emotion, but I will
right.
feel mentally so depressed that life is not worth living. There's no need for me to be here.
This is exactly what the book's about. Stability is the main value of the society, right? So they do everything they can to keep their emotions stable, to keep their lives stable. They don't have sex anymore because they grow babies, create them to be a certain thing. They train them to do. Anyway, like in the moral of the story is they revolt at the end when somebody that was like a wildling that came from outside of their society, and he's like has a full range of emotions, and they're like, I want to be like that,
That
and then they all start to,
becomes interesting, because
yeah,
the thing
right,
is,
yeah,
without the differences, how can you tell the red pill or the blue pill? No, you have to take the both red pill and the blue pill to know the difference. If you take one
right.
or other, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. If you and I don't look different, right? There's no interest. We have no interest in.
It goes against the universe too, like because the universe is unstable as all get out, right? Like we need instability. Like I'm a firm believer. You're right. We need both ends of the spectrum at all times, because you can't just be one stable. That's not balance, right? You get balance by being unbalanced,
And
by instability.
just imagine yourself walking into a neighborhood where every single house is exactly the same door, same
I
brick,
hate those
same,
neighborhoods. I
right?
hate
It's
them.
like, what's the point? What is the
I
point? Because
I
we are built. Say, hey, how do I tell the difference? Then you see like maybe one little piece of like grass or one piece of stain on one of the house. That becomes the interesting part of the
right,
whole experiment. It's because the thing is you don't want everything to be the same. The thing you think about it is that's the reason why humankind is so interesting, just because of all the people that has ever lived, no one share a single identical set of genes.
right. Well,
Not a single.
nobody, nothing on this entire world, to my knowledge, shares identical genes in any walk of
Yes,
life.
that's even twins. They don't
Right,
have exactly the same gene. They have
right,
a lot of them are the same, but not all of them. And that's what makes them different, right? Even
right.
for twins. And that's the thing is
Every person
when
is
you think
new.
about it, all the houses are the same, right? To the exact paint, exact same stain, and to everybody in that lives in that same neighborhood is exactly the same. Dresses like in the white pants and white sweater, whatever, right?
Right.
That becomes to me becomes like
Hell.
basically I'm blacking out just because it's so boring.
There was a show I used to watch on Netflix. It was called Lucifer. Have you ever heard of it or you ever seen it?
Mm-mm.
It's really funny because it's like the devil basically goes to LA and he runs a nightclub and he's like a nice guy, really, and everybody loves him. It's a funny show.
Okay,
Uh,
it's TV
the
series, right?
Yeah, it's a TV series. It's on Netflix now. But anyway, the devil, he always talks about this thing called a hell loop. We talked about this with trauma is, is an imagination thief, right?
Hmm.
Like I actually think a hell loop, they showed it in the show, like you did the same thing, you relive the same event over and over again. It's your hell loop. You're just stuck in this one moment. Probably it's a moment you don't like, but you got to relive it over and over
That's
and over.
just the
That's
utmost torture
that is
in my
torture. I
mind.
mean, it's like trauma, right? Like, I mean, it's like trauma is your imagination
I
thief.
mean,
It's the ability for the rest of life to
trauma
be
or not, is still the utmost torture that I can ever think of.
right. I mean, it makes me think of like a hell loop, right? Like ignorance is bliss, and just saying, "Well, I know this, and like this is all that I know." It's kind of like you're making your own hell loop, like this is all that I know, and see, I'm going to do the same thing over and over and over again, and that is torture to us.
Word monotonous, that is the enemies of humanity.
Yeah,
Humanity cannot take monotonous. It just can't. I mean, you think about it, like,
we revolt.
yeah, we want to have differences. We want to have like things that we uncover. Just like when you say, "Hey, I read this book, Sacred Cow," right? I learned so much. I think this is the best book. You have this heightened emotion because there's so
Right.
much more stimuli that comes into your senses, your sensors, right? And your sensor is activating these chemicals in you that give you the height and low, and then you can detect that. Because without the detection, you don't know you exist. That's why when you read a book like you already familiar with, like, well, it's a
Yeah.
hell loop for you.
It
It's like,
was. It was.
eh,
That's
regardless of
exactly.
how much information and how good the solution it provides for you.
Or how much I like the author, because I really like the author. Like, I mean, I'm not even gonna like. That's such a good example, is because like, I'm not gonna lie. I finished this book and I read it all, but I don't remember much of it at all because I was like, this is boring as shit. For me, it was not new. It was not novel. It was not like, I was like, yeah, Adam, we've been doing this for this is like one of our day one founding principles of Clubany. It's like we don't know shit, like, and that's I get it. Like we're with you. Like, I don't need to learn any more about this. Like, I want to go. It's like your anti-library versus your actual library. I don't want to read the books you already read. Like, I want to read the books that I don't know, like,
Okay.
that's when you get really excited, and that's when life is fun again.
Pick your best kind of food and just pick the best food you've ever had, like the best food you ever had. And then you eat that for 1,000 days.
Yeah.
Every day for 1,000 days. You're gonna throw up the next time you even smell it.
Yeah, you're right.
Right? So pick your best movie. You say, this is the best movie I've seen, and watch it 100 times. It's an experiment.
It'd be awful. Yeah,
Watch it 100 times. That movie is gonna make you sick, right? This is what I'm calling the monotonous, the hell loop. It is the utmost torture that you can give anyone.
right. Agreed.
For anyone to be in a zone where they knew everything and create their own hell loop, they're just creating, torture for themselves.
Yeah, right. They're just like by not wanting to go explore and learn more things, they're just torturing themselves, And you don't go learn to go for the wrong reason. Don't do it for the wrong reasons. Don't do it like Adam says in this book. Don't do it to be a preacher, a prosecutor, or a politician, where you're trying to go prove a point to somebody to become a preacher or a politician. Or that's not the point. The point is just to avoid the hell loop. And the point is to live your values and what you care about and avoid the hell loop, right? And to keep doing what you want to do every single day until you can't, and exploring that stuff. Like that was kind of what I was trying to get at. I don't know that this is my best reflection ever because once again, I didn't love this book. So like it's hard to write reflections sometimes on books you don't even really love,
But I think, I
Yeah.
mean, to me, this is one of the best reflection, even though you may not like the book or may not think you like the book. But I think it's a good book because it kind of elucidate the fact that we don't know nothing, right? We don't
Yeah.
know shit.
Oh, yeah.
With that, the basis for that is that it gives you the most optimal trigger for the chemicals, right? Up and
Mhm.
down, right? The molecule of more plus the molecule of here and now. You maximize the release of those things. Those things balance each other out. So you want to release them, but you want to
Right.
release the other one as well. And so you having just for that principle alone will give you enough impactful memories in your life that when you leave this earth, right, you knew that, hey, I have had so much experience that I am content to leave. I don't
Right.
have as much regret as I should.
Right.
Right?
Yeah.
Even for that, right?
No regrets.
No regrets, right? Exactly. So if you don't get anything out of that, that is much more than the benefit for you to kind of take this and hold it as your number one. The second piece is once you have the concept of I don't know shit, right? That allows you to even better yourself by able to see beyond the first bookshelf of 20 books.
Right.
Then you have more opportunities that I can explore, right?
Impossible. I mean,
And so the thing is, there's not going to be a day when you say, well, I have got to the end of my learning journey. There's nothing more to learn.
it's when you die. I mean, that's honestly when
You
you
think
die.
about
I
it. You
mean,
think about it.
it really is. Like I mean, you know, the Man's Search for Meaning book. I will never forget this when he talked about when he knew that somebody was, when they were ready to check out, they would light their last cigarette, you know, and everybody knew like that's it. Like you know, they're smoking their last cigarette, you know, like they're that serious about life being over, and they're like, this is it, I'm giving up. Like, I mean, in a lot of ways, this could be similar to that, you know, where it's like you're like, look, I'm done learning. Like, I'm gonna go sit in my hell loop until I die. You know, I'm gonna go smoke my last cigarette and just waste away. You know, like,
But
I mean,
that's the thing. So one of the blessing in life is actually death.
Yeah,
right?
I
I mean, so don't jump on me yet, because I think you think about it. If you get stuck in a hell loop, how do you get out? It is called torture for eternity. Let's say you live forever
yeah,
and you in a hell loop. That is why death is actually a gift. When you think about it, when you get to an age where your body are failing, you can't breathe, you're suffering, it aches all the time, right? You wish for it because
yeah.
you have to get out. This is a torture. But imagine the ultimate torture, which is the hell loop that you talk about for eternity. This is the worst thing anyone can give anyone. And
Yeah,
that's
it
why
is.
to me, death is actually a gift that you want it because it's a way out. It ends.
If you're not having fun.
I'm seriously, because you think
Yeah,
about it, right? Because we are born with a certain set of gene patterns. That pattern makes us behave a certain way. We
mm,
need to be able to move. We need to be able to detect the changes. The
right.
changes is what we're addicted to. It's the up and the down, right?
Yeah,
When we just like want to go vacation, okay? We gotta hurry up and get on the plane. And when we're on the plane, we gotta hurry up and get out of the plane.
right.
Get into
Man,
vacation, right?
hell loop is the airport. If you put me in the airport every single day of my life, like I'll be like, that's my hell loop.
But then when you go on vacation and say, hurry up and get over it.
Right.
Back and you want to get the thing about it, it's not the destination that you want to be. It's the changes that you want.
Yeah,
You
no, I agree.
you think about it, right? You say imagine you are on vacation for a week, a month, whatever. Eventually you get tired, you want to go back and do some work.
Right.
And then when you work too much, and hey, I want to stop working, I want to go do nothing on vacation. So you
Right.
think about it, it's not the destination. Because if it was a destination, when people got to its destination, they would stop, would just stay there and they won't come back. But the
Right.
thing is, when we
But
all go on vacation, we want to go back. And when we go back, we want to go on vacation or some other place. It is the changes that we want. And that's
it's
just the gene demands it because that's patterns of the gene that makes us act the way we act.
I totally agree. It's why people quit their jobs all the time because they're so bored. Like they're like, I already know how to do this. I'm done. I don't want to do this anymore. Anyway, I'm with you. I think we beat this one to a pulp. But yeah, we'll continue to harp on this topic.
Because I
Another
think it's
100,
important.
100,
It's a top
200
5.
episodes. Yeah, yeah.
It's we're going to inject this concept throughout the whole entire.
We'll continue. I mean,
It,
it's really at the heart of it. You know, I mean,
it is. It is
yeah,
the heart of it because at the end of the day, it's about the core values of balance.
right.
In order you have to balance, then you have to kind of learn and unlearn, and then have the triggers of the molecule of more and the molecule of now. You have to have that
Yeah.
kind of maximizing the release of those
I
chemicals.
mean, at the core of that, the literal core of balance is humility. Of I don't know anything. I mean, because like it's how do you know what balance is unless you're willing to to go test out. So like you can't know it until you go explore it, and then you're constantly trying to tweak and maintain the balance because it's a constant give and take all day long. Like at its core, once you find what, you'll never have balance. I mean, we've talked about this a million different times over, but it's like you can't have balance. Like it's an unobtainable state. Like, and that's the whole point. Like it's constant change, it's constant variations, it's constant tweaking, it's constant
and that's what we're
manipulation.
made. That's
Right.
actually what we're made to do.
the definition of balance is instability. I mean, really is what it is.
When you don't have balance, you die.
Yes, I agree with you on that.
And also, literally, when you're standing, right, you're balancing. When you're sitting, you're balancing.
Yeah.
Right? What happens when you don't have any balance?
I mean, you just fall over. Yeah.
You're dead.
Right. Yeah.
So
yeah.
we, as a unique patterns of these molecules, these chemicals, these compounds, DNA, it is centered around balance. You have to have balance that kind of switch back and forth to make changes for us to be existing. Just like I told you that we are balancing ourselves right now, whether I'm sitting or standing, I'm balancing. You think about Luca, right? Why he can't walk in the beginning? Because he hasn't learned how to balance yet.
Yeah.
Right? Because you think about it. So the same thing with the eyes, right? If you fix your eyes on one point, it becomes like dark black. You can't see anything until it starts to see the differences. When your eyes are twitching back and forth, right? It detects differences, and that will give you the vision. But if you fix one point, eventually it will disappear until your eye moves again. If you don't believe me, try it.
Isn't that what those magic?
No.
Those magic, like the photos that you would like cross your eyes, you stare at one point until you see the new image.
Right, that's different. What I'm saying is, if you keep your eye still, the way to keep your eye still is you focus on one point, right? The concept is keeping your eye still and not having it move, because your eyes always like kind of have a minuscule movement, a micro movement. Right? That movement, it detects the changes in the image received to your brain. That image is what detects vision. Without a new changes, that thing becomes black because it doesn't see anything. So basically, it's a lot of the features that we have in life. It is based on our changes that we detect. Eyes detect movement. Our life detects movement. If we don't have the movement, then it's gone. It's not there anymore.
No, I mean, if we don't move, we die. I mean, it's no, I totally agree. It all kind of fits nicely into, if you think you know everything, then you're kind of dead. And that's not cool. That's not what we want. So no, I love that. I'm actually glad we dove a little deeper into this one because I was a little worried about it because I think we've talked about it so many different times. But it's always a fun topic.
There's always more to talk. I mean, we can talk this about for like days on end.
For sure. Any final thoughts for the night?
I think, like I said, the title, it's much more impactful if you say, I don't know shit.
Right. Well, I'll let you go back through and critique all it because these are open source. Like, I don't really care. I mean, anybody can take them and Wikipedia them and make them their own for all I give a shit.
Like I said, philosophy is I don't know shit philosophy. Right. It's not I don't know anything philosophy. It's I don't know shit philosophy.
Well, that's the name of your truism book.
Yes, I don't know shit philosophy.
I actually really like that. I mean, it's write your damn book, True. All right. Well, with that said,
you can ghostwrite for me.
I cannot go. I'm an awful grammatical writer. So unless you want me to tell I can't tell somebody else's story. I refuse to do that. That would be torture to me. I'm honestly to tell somebody else's story. Beyond me.
I mean, you can do like a biography, right? In a biography, I'm not doing an autobiography, so a lot of biographies are out there. It's not written by the the main character in that book,
Right. Yep. No, that makes sense. All right. I'll think about it. I'll put it on the. We can rethink that one again in the future. And awesome. All right. So the question we can leave for everyone is, what new adventures could you find yourself on using the power of unlearning and rethinking? The adventure of a lifetime is my answer. Awesome. All right. Well, we will see you all on Monday.
Monday.
And, have a great one.
Yep. Good night.